Hey, welcome to Chris's Sports Podcast. I'm Chris. Football season's fixing to start, and the Texans opened training camp on a Wednesday. I saw where the McNairs, who own the Texans, they were looking for more success as head coach D'Amico Ryan starts his second season as coach. Coach Ryan spoke through the press, and he started off by offering condolences to the family of former Texans wide receiver Jacoby Jones, who passed away earlier this week. He talked about the team coming together and being competitive in training camp. He also talked about C.J. Stroud taking over a leadership position as he begins his second year in the NFL and with the Texans. Coach Ryan said he's looking for players that have good character, they get involved with the community, and are good teammates. You know, there was a lot of expectations for the Texans this year, and Coach Ryan said that the important expectations are those from the players themselves. Yeah, he also talked about quarterback C.J. Stroud going as a leader on the team, and also telling the rookies that it's time to go as training camp starts, that it's for real now, not like, I guess, kind of comparing it with minicamp back after the draft. I saw where ESPN has quarterback C.J. Stroud as a candidate for NFL MVP, but Texans GM Nick Caserio said he doesn't want to hear about any hype, says that the team is focusing on getting better this year. Yeah, you don't want any distractions. Some of the players, cheerleaders, and their mascot, Toro, went and visited. Volunteers are helping with the relief from Hurricane Beryl. Cowboys start their training camp next week in Oxnard, California. Former Cowboy great and Hall of Famer Charles Haley suggested the team might want to think about trading quarterback Dak Prescott. Prescott's contract is up this year. All right, coming up, a look at SEC Media Days. Well, they had SEC Media Days in Dallas this past week. They had the different coaches came and talked with the press, including UT coach Steve Sarkisian and Texas A&M's new coach Mike Elcho. More on the Aggies a little bit later. Coach Sarkisian talked about how the Red River rivalry is different than any of the other college football rivalries, including the Iron Bowl between Auburn and Alabama. Talking about how with the Cotton Bowl, this was set up in the Cotton Bowl, you have like one end is Texas fans, the other end is OU fans. He also talked about the renewal of the rivalry with Arkansas, which has kind of been forgotten about. Everybody seems to be focusing on on renewing the A&M rivalry. He said that Arkansas fans hate Texas more than they like themselves. Anyway, in other Texas sports news, Longhorn pitcher Tanner Witt got drafted by the Mets. U of H is still going to wear Oilers colors during this year's football season, even though the NFL told them not to. The Baylor men's basketball team is going to open their 2024-2025 season at UConn. There are going to be 9 athletes from TCU who are going to the Olympics, which starts next week, I think. Four-star wide receiver Kelshawn Johnson from Hitchcock committed to Texas A&M. Former North Texas and Dallas Texans Kansas City Chiefs running back Abner Haynes passed away. He was on their 1962 AFL championship team when they were still the Dallas Texans. Former Texas baseball coach David Pierce got a job as an assistant for Texas State in San Marcos, so he just went down the road. All right, coming up, I'll tell you about what I'll be doing this weekend. Well, I'm going to see the Rangers this weekend. It's the first time I'm going to see them play since they moved to Globe Field. I went and took a tour of it last year. My sister and her family are coming with me, and they're playing the Orioles. They open a 3-game series this weekend against the Orioles tonight. Nathan Eovaldi gets the start for the Rangers. The first time I went and saw them play in Arlington Stadium back in 1983 was also against the Orioles. And we almost didn't get to go because it rained that morning in Rosebud. So we went on ahead hoping that it would clear up on the way, and it did. Started clearing up about halfway, I'd say, when we got between Waco and Hillsboro. Anyway, it was Farm and Ranch Day there at Arlington Stadium. Yeah, really it was. They had hog calling and cow milking. The Rangers won the game, by the way. And we went back and saw them again later that summer to a night game. They played the Indians and won that one. The Orioles went on and won the World Series that year. The Rangers finished third in the AL West. Actually, going into the All-Star break in the 83 season, they were either in first place or in second place. It looked like they might win the division. Then they had one of their famous mid-season collapses. The White Sox won the West, by the way, that year. Anyway, coming up, a little bit of the history of Arlington Stadium. Okay, before I get to some of the history of Arlington Stadium, the Astros open a series tonight in Seattle against the Mariners. Hunter Brown gets the start for the Astros. All right, Arlington Stadium was built in 1965, and they called it a Turnpike Stadium back then. Before the Rangers moved there from Washington, it was the home of the Dallas-Fort Worth Spurs of the Texas League. They played there from 1965 to 1971. The name was changed to Arlington Stadium when the Rangers moved in the 1972 season. They added on to it over the years, but it always had kind of a minor league feel. Some of the things that happened there were Nolan Ryan getting 2 achievements in his career, or 2 milestones. The first being his 5,000th strikeout when he struck out Rickey Henderson of the A's in 1989, and then his 7th no-hitter against the Toronto Blue Jays in 1991. The last season there was in 1993, and I got to go to a game that year. Also went and saw a game their last season in Globe Life Park. Back when they had a football team at UT Arlington, they played some of their games there for a while. Now, here's some more things that happened in Texas in 1993. The Cowboys won Super Bowl 27 in Pasadena, California, to win the 1992 NFL Championship. Texas A&M lost to Notre Dame 28-3 in the 1993 Cotton Bowl game after winning the 1992 Southwest Conference Championship. The Cowboys repeated as NFL champions in 1993 after winning Super Bowl 28 in January of 1994. That was in Atlanta. Elsewhere, the Oilers won the 1993 AFC Central Championship. SMU basketball team made it to the 1992-1993 NCAA tournament. By the way, the Rangers had another were in contention for a while, but fell out, of course, during the 93 season. The Astros were trying to build up to their championships, division titles they would win in the National League Central in the late 90s. They had gotten Jeff Bagwell and Craig Biggio were really just starting to come into their own at that time. Anyway, A&M again won the Southwest Conference in 1993, and again they got beat by Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl. The Texas baseball team made it to the College World Series in 1993. The Texas Tech basketball team made it to the 1992-1993 NCAA tournament. And the Tech football team lost to Oklahoma 41-10 in the 1993 John Hancock Bowl. All right, coming up this year's Texas Aggie football team. Well, last year's Texas A&M football team, they went 7-6 last year, and they fired Coach Jimbo Fisher during the season, and he was replaced by defensive line coach Elijah Robinson, who took over for the rest of the year. And they went on to lose to Oklahoma State 31-23 in the Texas Bowl. They hired Mike Elcho as their new head coach on November 27th. And he spoke with the media on SEC Media Days Thursday. He said that he hopes that a quiet off-season will lead to a loud season. We'll see how that goes. Now, Athlon Sports has them ranked number 18 in their national poll in their college football preview magazine. They also had them finishing 9th in the SEC. They got defensive lineman Nick Skelton as a first-team All-SEC on their first-team defense, that is. They opened the season at home against Notre Dame on August 31st. Their first conference game is on September 14th in Gainesville against Florida. And they renew the rivalry with UT on November 30th. That should be fun. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for today. Now I'm going to take a week off next week, but I'll be back next Monday with a look at the North Texas Mean Green football team for the 2024 season. Until then, my name is Chris Carlisle. I want to thank you for checking out my podcast. You can hear it on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeart, and YouTube. I write and host this podcast. I record it on the Spreaker Studio app. Thank you for listening.